Hey guys, Beth here. I'm going to be talking about several things today. I jotted some notes down. First of all, regarding the streets in the city of Ironton and what people are posting, their responses in the group In the Know. Julia Newkirk, a friend of mine who also has a background in law enforcement, has that website. So if you get a chance, go to it, In the Know, and she keeps you up to date on everything you need to know about what's going on here. I want to speak about a new thing that has come about. Well, it's not really new. Come about called suspicious activity. Okay, what is suspicious activity? Okay, let me see here. Here's my iPad. Suspicious activity is kind of similar to officer's discretion. Okay, officer's discretion is a decision that officer makes on a whim, on anything. This is the decision I'm making. This is how it's going to be. Very firm, and you're going to do it. You're either going to give somebody a break or you're going to hammer them, right? So anyway, we talking about suspicious activity when it coincided with probable cause, which probable cause is you actually have to have evidence of a crime, evidence that something happened. If you get pulled over for suspicious activity, that is not a right. They can search you or your car, okay? So I'll be going in depth about that. And also wanted to mention a little bit about capitalism. It's kind of offhand with the city of Ironton, but really it's not. I mean, if you think about it, you got land, houses, stocks, bonds. Capitalism is a private properties and every private people owning what we get and what we don't get, and they make the prices and everything else. We're talking about self-interest. People act on their own interest. I mean, I understand if you're a grandfather and you have a big, huge family and you want to make your family set for after you're gone, I understand that. But is it right? Is it right? We're talking about competition. Businesses can enter and exit markets freely, which maximizes social welfare, right? And yeah, I'm looking at some notes. I mean, I'm sorry I haven't been able to get back to everybody. And then we'll be talking about free market, and the prices are determined by the interactions and buyer of sellers. What I'm concerned about right now, and I seen where a lot of people on social media was concerned about the streets of Ironton and why they haven't been treated and all that. I didn't see the news article, but I heard that the mayor was on TV saying that we didn't have any more salt, saying that we used it all on the first night. Okay, listen to me. Okay. How can you not manage salt content? Okay, but anyway, so let's say, what if the river flooded and consumed all that salt down there that was right on the riverbank? The state pays for that salt, right? You get a grant for it, and then it's gone. You get paid for that? I'm sure. Anyway, this should have been, this whole snow shit, excuse me, sorry, Charlie, should have been taken care of way before this, and I'll be getting in depth with that. Let me put my glasses back on. Let me tell you one thing, okay? If you get pulled over by the police, just stay calm. Keep your hands on the steering wheel and don't move. You don't have to answer any questions. You don't have to show them your ID. Everybody's forgetting, I'm not a constitutionalist, but everybody's forgetting their rights. The First Amendment rights, their Second Amendment rights, their Third, Fourth, and all the way to 27. I'm telling you, you need to know your rights. You don't have to tell, in my whole career, I never pulled somebody over and said, "Where you been? Where you going?" That's not any of my business. My business as a police officer is to, pull people over when they make a mistake, do my job. We can go back to court documents, okay? Back when I was a cop, a couple of years before, and Jimmy Carey used this to cause more friction I'm sorry to get off on this, but I'm going to continue. Jimmy Carey used that to cause more friction between me and Dan Johnson, because me and Dan were close. His birthday is, I think, a week before mine or a week after. And so, our quota was to write 10 tickets a month. Okay. Well, I wrote 10 tickets a day. I paid my salary, but when I did it, I was nice. If you can find somebody that ever made a complaint on me until Jimmy Carey pursued this complaint from the Sparks lady, which is all in court documents. But this is what I'm saying, okay? I mean, like I said, if you get pulled over, stay calm. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, because you don't know. These guys are fidgety. Lack of training. They're fidgety. But you got to understand, times have changed. Being a police officer now is dangerous, more dangerous than it was back in 2008. And that's understandable. But for you to be a police officer and abuse that authority, and just like the video I posted of Jeebuscrisp and Tim and Sarah, you've seen that video on my Facebook where they simply went crazy because they interrupted him. That's a little ego trip there. You got to deal with that, buddy. I think it was you, Blankenship, and Goo. Changes at the IPD need to be made expeditiously. I think we really need to do that. These cops down here, and I'm going to just say whatever. These cops down here, there was at one time a course called cultural sensitivity. And let me explain that. A cultural sensitivity class is something that any police officer or I'm sure any other jobs would have to go through if they did not understand how to have a conversation without escalating everything with somebody they don't understand. Okay, somebody that might be gay, somebody that might be black, somebody might be green, somebody be purple. It doesn't matter. Okay. Cultural sensitivity. Now, we're talking about that was back in the early 2000s, and also I'm going to reiterate this story. After getting so many memos a day, it's just a piece of paper, right? After getting so many memos a day for years and years and years, just something just dogged me every day, saying you didn't do this and you didn't stand up to the standard of IPD. And then one time I come in, I had on the bike patrol, I had my sleeves rolled up, and Bill Gardner said, "You need to wrote me up." He said, "You need to roll your sleeves down to proudly show the Iron Police symbol." Well, he wanted me to roll my sleeves down because my biceps were a little big. Okay, that's plain truth. Joe, I'm sure you can acknowledge that. Anyway, so, it's just amazing. I'm going to be talking about things that have happened since I retired from City Council in November 30th, 2021. I will also be going back in time and tell you true stories that happened when I was a cop. Some are funny, some are sad, some are corrupt. Okay, just some are corrupt. But let me see here what we got. Something that interests me, it may not interest you, is the free market. The free market. If you get a chance to Google that, I would suggest you do that. And the whole economic thing and the gas prices and, oh gosh, yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to this suspicious activity, which is actually offer discretion, which got me into the whole conversation about the lady I pulled over. Captain Jerry Leach. Honey, I don't know how you are. I hope you're well. You used to come in every morning and go through the tickets. You'd stand in front of that calendar and you'd rock back and forth because you were the captain, right? Okay. So you'd come in, and if you knew anybody or somebody called you and say, "Hey, Beth Riss pulled me over," or "Hey, Tony Forrest pulled me over," you would just come in the office there in the dispatch area, and you would just rip up the ticket right in front of us. You know you did it, so sue me for slander if you didn't. All right, I know I was wearing a wire, idiot. Okay, and so sorry, Charlie. So anyway, this whole thing, oh my God. With the police department, you can't tell. You guys have to acknowledge that if you are a big buddy with somebody that works at the courthouse, you get out of shit. Okay, it's just that's the way it is all over the world. It's just a thing. It's a common thing. If you know somebody or you're related to somebody, it don't matter your background or your past, what kind of character you have, if you have any empathy or any humility. What does that matter if you just simply related to somebody that's a judge, lawyer, anybody, county commissioner? Everybody's human. Everybody makes mistakes. So if you think when you're going to idolize a politician, I don't think so. There's nothing to idolize. You either idolize their character and their choices they make for you, and instead of the money they might make off of you as a taxpayer. Yeah. Okay. We'll be going over the ORC with the reasonable suspicion coinciding with probable cause. And probable cause is, I've seen so many videos. I posted a couple of videos, off of, I think his name was Martin Agent, about his corrupt cops videos where they go to prison for life or whatever. But you have to realize, there's a prison for police officers where it's like you can play tennis and shit, right? So here's the thing I'm thinking. Okay, so we put all these criminals, still people in jail for weed, and weed's legal. All these criminals in an enclosed area, and what do? We give them weights to work out. My dear God, if people thought apathy of their muscles would be the run of their life, they wouldn't commit a crime. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. If you get arrested, some people go to jail or go to prison, and then when they get out, they don't know anything that's happened or changed, so they go right back. Because oh my God, if you guys don't think that prison and drugs and all that is, I'm telling you what, it's a big club, and we're not in it if we're critical thinkers. So I just cannot understand, especially here, why the news doesn't show anything about what happens here in Ironton. But I'm going to give you a shout out. It's not a certain person or a certain place yet. All I have to do to be an investigative journalist is have a background in police officer and being an author. So I'm going to be looking at local papers, and papers maybe in Columbus or Cleveland or what like that. There is no reason for anybody to not be able to go to the police department for any reason they need to. You can't go there if the doors are locked. I'm going to end this with that. Excuse me. If you keep the police doors locked, and anybody used to be able to come in and just do whatever. We used to have a stand out there with your victims' rights and all that. There's nothing out there. They'll stick a Christmas tree out there every once in a while. I know what goes on behind those closed doors, and I'm not afraid to say it. I mean, who don't want to be in a warm place when it's cold and snowing out right now, right? Okay, but when it's cold and snowing out right now and you want to stay at the police department, it's pretty simple to realize that everybody's going to realize you're sitting there, so they're going to go out and steal stuff. Who don't understand that, okay? So anyway, I mean, you know, I went down 3rd Street one time, and all the electric was out, and it was snowing. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was working midnights. And, you know, I just thought, wow, anything can happen, and there's 2 of us out. So, do I believe that we should support our police department and hire more officers? Absolutely. But what do you think needs to happen before we do that? You need to clean house. You need to clean house. You need to get rid of everybody that's done anything. Don't let them resign and go to Hanging Rock or Cold Grove or South Point. Or don't let them do that, you know. I mean, my goodness, this is crazy. This is crazy. And so I'll be doing a video again later tonight about other things, and I'll continue about suspicious activity and all the people that have been pulled over and it says on the ticket suspicious activity. Please contact me, because that's against your civil rights. Okay, that's officer discretion. You make a decision just like Jerry Leach with tearing up all the tickets, and he would just rock. Well, when I got sergeant, I used to stand in that, in the same spot he did. Look at the calendar, and I just rock. Just to piss people off. Just to piss people off that I beat on the sergeant's test. And I used to come in, and I was the one in charge. They couldn't stand that. I was getting too close to getting captain. They couldn't stand it, right? So they had to do this. If you read the court documents, it's all online. Risk versus Ironton is just my book. But if you go online, you can find all that information out. And then you won't have to doubt anything anymore. Then you won't have to be angry with me anymore. Then you won't have to think you know exactly what happened anymore. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's a pretty simple task, don't you think? Now, more about this whole situation with the weather here and the streets and all that. You know, I mean, why don't we hear about all this? You know, just like I posted something on In the Know earlier about, you're okay, guys. Posted something earlier about In the Know, and Miss Miller was on there, and she has every right to be on there, and said what she thought about being in another city, and everything was clean. And then, obviously, like I said, I don't know. I didn't see. Hey, honey, I didn't see the news article. But how can you run out of salt and put all the salt down on the first day? So we'll continue about this tomorrow. And just I skip around it a lot. That's my prerogative as a woman, right? Let me tell you something. I said this earlier today on a post on In the Know. You can't keep stitching something up that will continue to bleed. Bethris, God bless.